Speed has always been a question of how far we can push physics before comfort, safety, and reason tell us to stop, yet every decade brings something that redefines what a heavy vehicle can do. The sight of a machine built like a building yet moving like a sports coupe challenges our assumptions about performance. It is the kind of contradiction that makes enthusiasts curious and skeptics nervous. Electric power has unlocked new frontiers. Torque arrives instantly, and weight once seen as a penalty now feeds traction and stability. The result is a new breed of vehicle that feels like an experiment in extremes, equal parts engineering showcase and social statement. It is not about efficiency alone, it is about proving that technology can turn excess into momentum. In this episode, we dive deep into the story of the GMC Hummer EV 2024, a 9,000-pound electric powerhouse that accelerates faster than many supercars, exploring how it came to be, what it represents, and where it might lead the industry next. Like and subscribe if you want more deep dives into the machines reshaping the road, and tell us what story you want next. The GMC Hummer EV 2024 begins where few vehicles dare to stand, at the intersection of contradiction and ambition. This machine carries the legacy of a name once synonymous with excess, now reborn as an electric statement piece that tries to balance raw power with environmental responsibility. GMC did not simply build a large electric truck, it engineered a rolling experiment in how far electric performance can be pushed before practicality bends. The story of the Hummer EV starts long before its battery pack was ever installed. It traces back to the original H1, a military-born brute turned civilian status symbol. When that chapter closed, the Hummer name became shorthand for everything unsustainable about early SUV culture. The revival, announced by GMC under the banner of electrification, was both audacious and risky. Bringing back a symbol of consumption in a time of climate urgency meant the company had to prove that technology could rewrite reputation. At the heart of the GMC Hummer EV 2024 is the Ultium platform, a modular battery and motor system developed to power GM's electric future. The Hummer is its most extreme expression, 3 motors combined to produce roughly 1,000 horsepower and over 11,000 pound-feet of torque when measured at the wheels. The numbers alone are staggering, but what matters more is how they transform the driving experience. The truck's 0 to 60 time, around 3 seconds, challenges what we expect from something this massive. GMC calls it "What's to Freedom," a launch mode that compresses all that energy into a silent surge. It is an experience designed as both performance and theater. Building such a machine required rethinking almost every part of vehicle dynamics. Weight, once the enemy of speed, becomes a tool when managed properly. The battery pack sits low, dropping the center of gravity and allowing stability that feels impossible for its dimensions. Four-wheel steering, including a feature called crab walk, lets the Hummer move diagonally. It is a playful yet practical trick that turns tight trails into puzzles it can solve with geometry rather than brute force. Air suspension adjusts the ride height by up to 6 inches, transforming the truck from highway cruiser to off-road climber in seconds. These systems work together like a digital orchestra, sensors, processors, and motors in constant communication to make 9,000 pounds feel almost nimble. Yet engineering alone cannot explain the appeal. The GMC Hummer EV 2024 is also about image. It is a vehicle designed to project strength, progress, and novelty all at once. The exterior styling borrows cues from the old H2 and H3, but sharpens them with futuristic details. The light signature, with its full-width front bar, doubles as a charging indicator. The grille spells out the name proudly, illuminated like a badge of rebirth. Inside, designers leaned on the language of adventure, exposed bolts, geometric textures, and massive screens that make the cabin feel part command center, part concept car. Every detail signals capability, yet the luxury touches, leather, open-pore wood, and digital customization, remind the driver this is no utilitarian tool. Behind that image lies a deeper question: what does it mean to make a supertruck electric? The GMC Hummer EV 2024 weighs nearly twice as much as a mid-size SUV. That mass requires enormous energy to move, and while electric motors deliver that energy efficiently, the source still matters. The battery itself, with a capacity exceeding 200 kilowatt-hours, demands significant resources to produce. Critics point to this as evidence that electrification alone cannot guarantee sustainability. Supporters argue the Hummer is a necessary showcase, a proof of concept demonstrating that electric power can conquer even the heaviest applications. Both views contain truth. The truck is both triumph and test case. GMC approached development with an understanding that the Hummer EV would not be a mass-market vehicle. Its price, performance, and size position it as a halo product, a headline generator meant to shift perception. The strategy worked. When the first edition sold out within hours, it proved that there was demand for electric vehicles that excite as much as they educate. Early buyers were drawn not only to the specs but to the story, a legacy brand turning its most polarizing symbol into an emblem of change. That narrative gave the Hummer EV a cultural weight beyond its physical one. Technically, the vehicle is an achievement in integration. The Ultium battery uses large-format pouch cells arranged in a double-stacked configuration, creating a floor that doubles as structure. Cooling channels weave through the pack to manage heat under high load. An 800-volt electrical system allows rapid DC fast charging, capable of adding around 100 miles in 10 minutes under ideal conditions. Each motor has its own inverter, enabling precise torque vectoring. The rear motors can operate independently for improved traction. Off-road, the combination of power, articulation, and intelligent control lets the truck handle conditions that would challenge lighter, purpose-built vehicles. On-road, adaptive dampers smooth out imperfections while torque management prevents unwanted lurches from the instant power. Driving the GMC Hummer EV 2024 feels less like commanding a truck and more like piloting a machine that anticipates. The steering lightens as speed increases. Regenerative braking captures kinetic energy seamlessly, blending with friction brakes when more stopping force is needed. The cabin isolates road noise almost completely, making the acceleration even more surreal. What used to be the roar of combustion becomes the whir of electric thrust, a reminder that silence can feel powerful when it moves something this big, this quickly. The technology behind that sensation is not just mechanical, it is emotional design in motion. Still, not everything about the experience is futuristic. The physical footprint is enormous. Parking, maneuvering, and urban driving remain challenges. The battery's weight means tire wear and road impact are higher than average. Range, while impressive for the class, over 300 miles in ideal conditions, drops significantly under heavy use or extreme temperatures. These are the trade-offs of pushing boundaries. Every innovation comes with new limitations to solve next. GMC seems aware of this balance, positioning the Hummer EV not as perfection but as progress in visible form. In context, the GMC Hummer EV 2024 stands as a reflection of its era. It embodies the tension between desire and duty, between the push for sustainability and the pull of spectacle. It asks whether electrification should only mean efficiency or if it can also mean evolution. The truck's audience may not be chasing environmental purity but rather technological curiosity, the thrill of seeing what is possible when limits are tested. For GMC, that curiosity is a bridge toward broader adoption. The innovations developed here will eventually filter down to more accessible vehicles, where they can deliver both excitement and responsibility in equal measure. As Segment 1 closes, the foundation is clear. The GMC Hummer EV 2024 is more than a heavy truck with fast acceleration. It is a platform where engineering ambition meets cultural reinvention. To understand its deeper impact, we need to look beyond the specifications and into the motivations that built it. Segment 2 explores why GMC chose this path, how the market responded, and what this supertruck tells us about the future of power itself. The GMC Hummer EV 2024 did not appear in a vacuum. Its existence is the result of timing, technology, and a calculated gamble on what performance means in the electric era. When GMC revived the Hummer name, the company was not simply selling a product, it was testing a message. Could the same badge that once symbolized excess now represent innovation? To answer that, GMC leaned into spectacle. The brand understood that in a crowded EV market, subtlety would vanish. The Hummer EV had to be extreme, not only in numbers but in presence. It had to stand as a rolling declaration that electric could feel wild, confident, and unmistakably American. The economics behind this decision are as strategic as the engineering. Large, premium vehicles deliver profit margins that fund future development. By making the GMC Hummer EV 2024 the first to showcase the Ultium system, GM created a high-profile demonstration project, one that validated the architecture under heavy load while attracting affluent early adopters. These customers become brand ambassadors, spreading awareness through social media and public events. Every post of a 9,000-pound truck launching like a supercar reinforces the narrative that electric power equals excitement. That story, in turn, helps normalize electrification for buyers who might otherwise resist change. Yet, this approach raises questions. If electrification is the future, should its pioneers be vehicles that weigh more than some delivery vans? Environmental analysts argue that while the GMC Hummer EV 2024 produces zero tailpipe emissions, its production footprint is significant. Mining, material processing, and battery logistics all contribute to the total carbon equation. GMC acknowledges these challenges but positions the Hummer as a gateway, a flagship that paves the way for efficiency through scale. The technology refined in the Hummer, fast charging, modular batteries, intelligent power management, will appear in smaller, more efficient vehicles. In that sense, it is a proving ground wrapped in spectacle. The cultural response to the Hummer EV reveals how polarizing innovation can be. Fans praise its audacity. Critics see it as an ironic twist in the story of environmental progress. Yet even detractors admit the execution is impressive. The truck's chassis stiffness, suspension control, and motor coordination represent engineering rarely seen outside exotic supercars. What differentiates it is purpose. While a sports coupe seeks to shave milliseconds on a track, the Hummer EV seeks to deliver that acceleration while carrying 5 passengers, gear, and off-road hardware. It is not a purist's machine, it is a vision of indulgence reimagined through electrification. GMC capitalized on this dual identity through storytelling. The marketing focused on adventure, not guilt, freedom, not restraint. Commercials framed the GMC Hummer EV 2024 as a return to nature powered by innovation. Charging stations were shown as gateways to exploration, not as obligations. This narrative connected to an audience eager for progress without losing the emotional charge of performance. The tactic worked because it redefined what sustainability could feel like, less about doing less, more about doing differently. From a technical perspective, the GMC Hummer EV 2024 represents a cascade of systems working in harmony. Each wheel can receive independent torque commands, enabling precise traction even on uneven terrain. The adaptive air suspension uses sensors to predict obstacles, adjusting damping in real time. The underbody protection, with its reinforced skid plates, allows confidence on trails where conventional EVs would hesitate. Even the digital systems contribute. Cameras placed under the chassis give the driver a clear view of what lies ahead, turning off-roading into an informed calculation rather than blind risk. This integration of hardware and software marks a shift in how performance is defined. It is not just power output, it is control, predictability, and awareness. Inside, the experience continues that philosophy. The cabin of the GMC Hummer EV 2024 balances rugged aesthetics with futuristic functionality. Dual screens dominate the dash, one dedicated to driving information, the other to infotainment and configuration. The interface is built on a gaming engine, allowing dynamic graphics that respond to terrain, speed, and drive mode. The driver can watch torque distribution, suspension movement, and even approach angles in real time. This transparency creates connection. The driver becomes part of the system, not merely its operator. The idea is empowerment through information. However, this level of sophistication introduces complexity. Maintenance and repair require specialized knowledge. Over-the-air updates manage many issues, but physical servicing is limited to trained technicians. The sheer mass of the GMC Hummer EV 2024 also affects infrastructure. Public chargers must support higher amperage, and transport logistics become more demanding. These challenges highlight a larger issue in the EV industry: scaling technology built for extremes to suit everyday use. In this way, the Hummer acts as a mirror for the state of electrification, brilliant in potential, burdened by size. Market reception, despite mixed opinions, remains strong. The early allocation sold out, and resale values initially spiked. Owners describe the experience as transformative. The sense of commanding immense power with zero engine noise feels futuristic. Yet others question whether such luxury EVs distract from the mission of sustainable transportation. The debate itself fuels interest. Controversy keeps the Hummer EV in headlines, ensuring its role as both symbol and subject in discussions about the future of mobility. Strategically, GMC benefits regardless of opinion. Each Hummer EV functions as a rolling billboard for GM's Ultium technology. When those systems migrate into mainstream vehicles, their reputation benefits from association with high-performance success. This trickle-down approach mirrors how motorsport innovations once filtered into road cars. The difference now is that the laboratory is the open road, the experiment, public perception. From an engineering lens, the GMC Hummer EV 2024 redefines the limits of EV packaging. The double-stacked battery pack creates both strength and weight distribution advantages. Cooling efficiency under sustained load allows repeated acceleration runs without thermal limitations. Torque vectoring ensures stability even under hard cornering. The four-wheel steering reduces turning radius dramatically. For a truck this size, that capability changes daily usability. All of these elements serve one goal: to make size irrelevant to experience. Still, the greatest test for the GMC Hummer EV 2024 is philosophical. It challenges what we believe electrification should achieve. Should the electric future focus solely on reduction, smaller, lighter, simpler, or can it include expressions of abundance powered by clean energy? The Hummer EV argues that desire itself can drive adoption, that if people want electric vehicles for excitement, they will buy them faster than if told to do so for responsibility alone. It is a controversial but compelling argument, and one that resonates with the history of American automotive culture. The GMC Hummer EV 2024 exists as both spectacle and signal. It is a declaration that the electric age will not be defined by restraint alone. As we explore its wider consequences, we begin to see how one vehicle can challenge decades of automotive philosophy. For years, progress meant shedding weight, reducing drag, chasing efficiency. The Hummer EV reverses that script. It adds mass, adds power, and adds complexity, yet still claims a place in the conversation about sustainability. That paradox is the essence of its cultural impact. It shows that the transition to electric mobility will not be uniform, but plural, full of contradictions that push the industry to evolve. On the road, the GMC Hummer EV 2024 changes expectations. Drivers who once dismissed electric vehicles as slow or uninspiring now witness an electric truck capable of out-accelerating traditional performance cars. That demonstration matters because perception drives adoption. When speed enthusiasts and truck loyalists see that electrification can amplify, not diminish, what they love about driving, they begin to view the technology differently. The Hummer EV converts skepticism into curiosity. It is an ambassador of performance wrapped in the language of adventure. Each time it launches silently yet forcefully, it erodes the idea that electric equals compromise. The environmental discussion, however, remains central. The sheer scale of the GMC Hummer EV 2024 raises legitimate concerns about energy consumption and resource use. A battery this large requires vast quantities of lithium, nickel, and cobalt. Charging it demands infrastructure capable of handling immense loads. Critics argue that such vehicles dilute the message of efficiency. Supporters counter that innovation often begins with extremes. The truth lies between. By pushing engineering to manage such heavy systems, GMC and its partners accelerate the development of stronger batteries, faster charging, and smarter energy management. These advancements will later serve smaller, more accessible vehicles. In this sense, the Hummer EV acts as a pressure chamber for progress. Socially, the truck also sparks conversation about identity and aspiration. The GMC Hummer EV 2024 caters to those who view technology as empowerment, not restraint. Its buyers often describe it as a statement of independence. They want capability and novelty in one package. This mindset mirrors early adopters of smartphones or luxury EV sedans, a blend of curiosity and status signaling. Yet unlike delicate gadgets, the Hummer presents power in physical form. It taps into a deep cultural association between size, safety, and success. The electric drivetrain simply reframes that narrative for a new generation. Financially, the Hummer EV validates a high-end strategy for electrification. It proves that consumers will pay a premium for electric vehicles that deliver emotion alongside innovation. That profitability funds the research needed to make electric mobility mainstream. For General Motors, every sale of the GMC Hummer EV 2024 supports the broader Ultium rollout, batteries that will eventually power family crossovers, sedans, and compact SUVs. The technology is already scaling downward. The showpiece truck is both billboard and benefactor for an entire ecosystem. But impact extends beyond commerce. The presence of the GMC Hummer EV 2024 on highways and trails alters public imagination. Seeing something so large glide silently through traffic challenges sensory expectations. It invites a future where strength no longer needs to roar. Children who grow up watching these trucks may associate performance not with exhaust but with acceleration measured in silence. That subtle shift shapes cultural definitions of excitement for decades to come. The electric soundscape becomes the new soundtrack of aspiration. At the same time, the Hummer EV forces the industry to confront its contradictions. The vehicle's success highlights the tension between progress and consumption. Can luxury coexist with responsibility? Can engineering brilliance justify resource intensity? These are not questions one truck can answer, but by existing, the GMC Hummer EV 2024 compels the conversation. It represents a stage in evolution where ideals and realities meet halfway. The same impulse that drives people to buy such machines, the desire to experience the frontier of technology, also drives innovation that benefits all. From an engineering standpoint, lessons learned from the Hummer EV extend far beyond its chassis. Battery management under high stress, regenerative control across multiple motors, and vehicle software synchronization will inform future designs. As computing power becomes as vital as horsepower, the Hummer's data ecosystem offers insight into how vehicles can self-optimize. Every launch, every charge cycle contributes to a growing dataset that engineers analyze to refine future platforms. The truck, in essence, is a rolling laboratory disguised as a lifestyle product. Emotionally, the experience of the GMC Hummer EV 2024 reminds drivers of the wonder that first drew people to automobiles. The sense of motion without friction, of technology serving human thrill, rekindles excitement in a segment often reduced to practicality. For enthusiasts who once feared electrification would erase passion, the Hummer proves that emotion can be rewired. It shows that silence can exhilarate as much as sound, that weight can feel agile when controlled by intelligence. These sensory revelations ripple outward, influencing design philosophy across the industry. Looking forward, the legacy of the GMC Hummer EV 2024 will depend on interpretation. Some will remember it as the ultimate symbol of excess dressed in green. Others will see it as the spark that made electric vehicles desirable to a wider audience. Both views will be correct. The vehicle occupies a unique space between innovation and indulgence, bridging eras of thought. It demonstrates that progress rarely moves in a straight line. It loops, experiments, and sometimes revisits old ideas with new tools. What matters is momentum, and in that, the Hummer delivers abundantly. The larger message is about transformation through contradiction. By embracing extremes, the GMC Hummer EV 2024 makes moderation meaningful again. It gives context to future efficiency by proving what technology can accomplish when unleashed without restraint. Every generation of engineering needs its myth, a machine that dares so that others can refine. The Hummer EV is that myth for the electric age, a mechanical paradox that moves the narrative forward by challenging every assumption behind it. As this exploration nears its end, the pattern becomes clear. The GMC Hummer EV 2024 reshapes expectations of performance, luxury, and responsibility, all within a single frame of aluminum, battery cells, and ambition. It is less a conclusion than a beginning. To understand what it ultimately means for drivers, industries, and ideals, we turn to the final chapter, where we look at the lessons it leaves behind and the road it opens ahead. The GMC Hummer EV 2024 leaves behind more than tire tracks. It leaves a question that will echo through every electric design to come. Can the pursuit of excitement coexist with the pursuit of responsibility? The answer, at least for now, lies somewhere in motion. This truck proves that extremes are not the opposite of progress. They are often the catalysts that force innovation to mature. It shows that technology grows fastest when challenged by impossible expectations. The GMC Hummer EV 2024 met those expectations head-on and, in doing so, became a marker in the timeline of automotive evolution. In practical terms, its influence is already visible. The Ultium system it debuted will power fleets of future vehicles, each one smaller, lighter, and more efficient than the last. Lessons from its cooling system, regenerative calibration, and battery architecture are being applied across GM's development portfolio. The same hardware that propels a 9,000-pound truck from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds will soon deliver extended range and faster charging in family crossovers. That trickle-down effect justifies the experiment. The Hummer EV was not created to be perfect, it was created to be possible. Culturally, its impact reaches beyond garages and showrooms. The GMC Hummer EV 2024 reframes the conversation about what electric vehicles can be. It proves they can command presence, inspire emotion, and even carry humor in their audacity. It invites people who once mocked electrification to engage with it. That engagement, even when fueled by curiosity or disbelief, strengthens acceptance. Every disruptive technology follows that arc, from novelty to necessity, and the Hummer EV stands squarely at the turning point. But perhaps its most lasting contribution is philosophical. The GMC Hummer EV 2024 embodies the idea that sustainability is not a single shape, it is a spectrum of solutions, each suited to its purpose. Not every driver needs 1,000 horsepower, just as not every engineer needs to build a machine of this scale. What matters is that such a machine exists to stretch the limits of what electrification can achieve. It proves that ambition still has a place in an age of caution. It reminds us that progress should excite as much as it educates. Looking ahead, the story of the GMC Hummer EV 2024 will likely evolve from controversy to case study. Future historians of mobility may view it as the bold first step in normalizing electric performance, the moment when power and conscience began learning to share the same road. It may also stand as a reminder that innovation, when done responsibly, can reconcile opposites. For every criticism about its mass or footprint, there will be an advancement in efficiency born from solving those very challenges. Ultimately, the legacy of the GMC Hummer EV 2024 is not confined to its specifications, it resides in the mindset it represents. It tells engineers to dream without apology and consumers to expect more from clean technology. It transforms an old icon into a new benchmark for daring. Whether loved or questioned, it achieves something few vehicles ever do, it makes people think differently about motion itself. And that, more than any figure on a spec sheet, is what drives revolutions. The road ahead will bring lighter, smarter, and more efficient vehicles. They will owe part of their DNA to the lessons written in the metal and circuitry of this supertruck. In the end, the GMC Hummer EV 2024 stands as both teacher and rebel, a reminder that evolution often begins with excess, and that the path to sustainability sometimes takes a detour through spectacle. As the electric age accelerates, this machine will remain a reference point for how far we dared to go, and how much further we learned to travel because of it.